Hey guys, it's me Cosmic, and today we are going to talk about the supposed click problem within the furry fandom. So let's begin with what a click even is in the first place, as well as why I don't think that's the actual problem, but it's something else that is related to it to a certain extent. So, a clique is a small group of people who interact preferentially with each other and share similar interests. They spend most of their time together when they're doing something social and have a tendency to not welcome other people into that group easily, also known as very normal human behavior. Now, I understand why many furries do find this a bit of a problem. Now, let's be honest and fair to ourselves here. Most of us are either very introverted, have a lot of social anxiety, or we simply just aren't exactly the best at socializing. Sometimes all three at the same time. And obviously, when it looks like you have a pretty good chance of making a connection, but then you notice it's a clique, obviously it does make it very annoying and more difficult. But you need to understand why these cliques form in the first place. The furry fandom is no longer what it once was. It is so much larger. Sure, it's not like the largest. There are still a large amount of other communities and fandoms that are even larger than the furry fandom and still make it look tiny in comparison, but it is much larger. And unfortunately, we don't have quality control over here. Well, at least not exactly. So we have to improvise and police ourselves. And obviously, we can get very hardcore with this. The only group that will judge furries even more than anti-furries is other fellow furries. You can take a look at any kind of platform, and you will notice this if you look hard enough. We judge ourselves way more than anybody else does. Which doesn't come from a place of hatred necessarily. In fact, it comes from a place of wanting to see the fandom improved and even better than it already is. And understand that the majority of the cliques that you will see, they won't actively just immediately look at you as a potential threat or anything like that. No, we are pretty chill most of the time. We will give the chance and opportunity to come and join us. I have cliques of my own within the furry fandom, for example, and it's for a good reason. To give you an example, right? I was in VR chat 2 days ago, and I was mainly on VR chat to take screenshots of an MMD world so that, I can make a thumbnail for YouTube videos. And while there, I thought to myself, you know what, I'll go ahead and talk to one of my acquaintances, since they are online, and they are a pretty chill acquaintance. I like them a lot. They're pretty fun. We both have a nerdy interest in biology, so yeah, we get along pretty well. And we talked a bit, I joined like, hey, what's up, amigo? Pretty good, bro, and stuff like, we're talking. And his own friends join, which, we aren't exactly a clique at that point, but obviously, we got no issues with that. Come and join. And we're talking, and then some random fuckwit just appeared next to us. And at first we were, being nice about it. Like, oh, hey, you can join if you want to as well. Like, what are you into? Like, what is your hobbies? But as soon as we said, what are you into? They started talking about their ERP preferences, which at first we were like, okay, that's not exactly bad. And then all of a sudden, he popped the fucking horse cock out. And it's like, okay, can you not? None of us asked you. None of us are here to see your cock. We are here to talk about biology. Not that type of biology, though. Yeah, I know this example is a bit hyper-specific, and yeah, it is, because we actually experienced this at one point. And I know I'm probably making it sound much less annoying than it actually is, but there was more discussions, which is what made it annoying. It's just that I'm simplifying it. And there are other examples like this as well, which don't have to be ERP. Like, for example, another one, We were, if I remember correctly, on Discord, I think? It was either Discord or a different application, and a lot of us, keep in mind, a lot of us are from the UK. My friend group, we're from the UK. American stuff doesn't exactly concern us. So when we entered this group and everybody was arguing with each other over American politics, a lot of us just felt like, should we even be here? Like, what's the point? It's not like we can chime in, because we're from the UK. It doesn't matter what we think about American politics. We have no say in that. So it's like, okay. But you can kind of get where I'm going with this. We do this not because we hate everybody else. We do this because we love what we already have around us, friendships and so on. And obviously, in order to prevent from things getting really heated and potentially damaged, we're just making sure things are going well. And that's what you need to understand. First off, if you're trying to enter a clique of sorts, be yourself, but don't reveal your spicy sides immediately, because that is a big turnoff, because a lot of us do know how bad that shit can get. To put it simply, be a decent human being and you'll be alright. But more importantly, put yourself out there. If you sit at a corner within a crowd, but you don't say or do anything, you're just sitting there, well, of course, people are going to assume that you're either overstimulated and you need a little bit of, quiet lone time, or they're going to assume that maybe you're waiting for a friend or something. Or maybe they'll think that you're currently in a bit of a down mood and you don't really want to talk to anyone. If people don't know you actually want to meet with people and potentially make friends and acquaintances, well, if they don't know that, they're not gonna try and help out anyway, because they don't know that you want that. You gotta put yourself out there a bit, which I know saying it like that is not exactly helpful. It's not as easy as, I said you must go. Oh, okay, I'll go now. Like, it's not that simple, I am aware, but like, you gotta force yourself a bit, no matter how nervous you can get. Which, keep in mind, I myself did have this issue as well. Why do you think I was so lonely back when I was in college? I was too nervous to talk to people. But over time, an extroverted acquaintance of mine, basically, it was literally the fucking meme of the extrovert adopting the introvert. Like, it was literally that meme. And thanks to that day, I was able to make a decent amount of connections, that some of which I still talk to this very day. Now, obviously, we don't talk as much as we used to because we're no longer in the same college and we all have our own jobs and so on, but we still like each other, and we still hang around from time to time. Another thing that needs to be mentioned, right? This first group that I'm talking about, like, from everything that I've talked about, there is a good chance that you yourself can relate to this group and understand them. It's the second type of group that gets the most amount of hate, not the first group. So don't be too discouraged if you start seeing this whole furry fandom has a clique problem and this and that. Like, don't be too worried if you're in the first category. Be worried if you are in the second one, which is the entitled ones, the ones that I myself also really dislike. Twitter addiction and Twitter users, sorry, I meant disgusting creatures, fucking goblins, as well as a decent chunk of content creators really did convince so many of you that a fursuit is basically the get out of jail free card or the cheat code in a video game. Which, no, you can have the coolest looking fursuit in recorded history, but if you're such a piece of shit inside of that suit, nobody's gonna like you. The only people that will tolerate your mere existence are people that are just as miserable as you, as well as clout chasers, because they know that by association with you having the coolest fursuit ever, they're gonna get a little bit of that clout due to association. The people that you don't want to know and be around in the first place. So understand that. Yeah, other than this, I am planning on making a video about furry fandom socializing guide. But before that, I am also working on an amateur documentary again, similar to my aquatic life amateur documentary, but this one is going to be about dinosaurs. Hell yeah. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I am going to see you again later, some other time. Goodbye.